Okay, here's a component speaker upgrade, meaning woofer separate, tweeter separate, with a really good crossover that has an inductor capacitor for the woofer, so it doesn't go above the frequency of 2500 hertz, and then the capacitors are blocking the tweeter at 3500 hertz. So there's a little bit of a gap in there, but there are frequencies that sort of like overlap, and they call that harmonics. So this should be just fine. And it seems to be a sweetness that these engineers have designed this to have that 1000 hertz gap between the woofer and the tweeter. So this is a nice system. It's 4 ohms. I'm holding the adapter plate, which is also part tube, to a Toyota Matrix, a 2008 Toyota Matrix. The front door speakers. The door speakers sort of let down towards your feet. So typically with newer cars, they've discovered that it's more pleasurable to listen to woofers at your feet and tweeters towards your face. So that's what I've done. And the system was only like $35, $40 on Amazon. This is great because it's the right impedance match at 4 ohms, and the crossover is going to keep it at 4 ohms. But the hardest part was the structural, and also finding the wiring schematic. Forget it. An old friend taught me how to find polarity of the car by finding it through the speaker. If you find the wire color codes, which are not on this one, but the other one. This is the other side. And there's our light green and our blue. It turns out with a battery test and the speaker connected to these two wires, you'll find the polarity. And that's important because the speaker needs to move outward from the kick drum or its forward motion positive. So we found that to be the light green in the Toyota. Matrix Corolla is probably the same. And I decided to use the adapter. Well, it was necessary to use the adapter so the acoustics and also not having leakage in the door. Acoustics is important, as I have discovered and I utilize with band speakers and home stereo speakers, because I do building and customizing. And you can contact me about that on my YouTube channel. And so here we have the original clip that goes in to this adapter, and it comes out here with these 2 prongs, which I added a little extra glue, and then I soldered the wires to. So this is going to work out great. Now originally, you can see the scuff marks over here just to the right of the connectors. That was the back of the spline, I guess you call it the frame, that would connect. The speaker surround was actually glued to this circumference here. So I'm using this gap all the way around that'll hold the screws. As we'll see with this woofer, I've got it now screwed in. You can see that, and the clip will go in there. And in the back, I've soldered the wires. I've chose soldering rather than butt connectors because butt connectors can corrode with time, and this is a moisture area. I mean, there's a lot of moisture, not rain, but there is a plastic bladder, plastic that's put over the outside to keep the outside weather outside as much as possible, but there's still moisture in there. This is on the inside of the bladder, which would be the inside of the door panel to the inside of the car. But we all know that cars are very moist, and so just connecting a butt connector or a slip-on disconnect is, I think, is going to be a temporary thing, and it'll end up having moisture and corrosion eventually. So this is a great connection here. I also soldered to the speaker terminals, positive and negative. Of course, we found the polarity. And this is great. It's a 6.5. It's 4 ohms. Can take up to 50 watts, where the original Toyota takes 17 watts. And in my mind, it sounds like crap, the old Toyota speaker. It was not a coaxial or a triaxial. You can fit those in here if you can find the right basket. And I mean, the basket has to have the right lip. It has to be flat, where the ones that I tried out, the coaxials. I was trying to do this the simple way by not having to go to a component system with a crossover, and placing the crossover was like placing a deck of cards. It's about the same dimensions. Inside between the inner door panel and the metal frame of the door was just a nightmare to try and find out where that would fit. Well, I found out it would fit just below the mirror side. In case you want to do that, I'm putting also power mirrors inside this 2008 basic 5-speed manual Toyota Matrix. So it's going to be really interesting. I've also got the controller that's going into the dashboard. Bought all the parts and 2 powered mirrors. So very cool setup. I hope this helps you out.